Good morning. If you'd take your seats, please, we'll start our service with the prelude.
Good morning. Thank you, Alejandro. That was lovely. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. Welcome to everyone here in person and everyone joining us on YouTube now and in the future. I am Carolyn Churchill. My pronouns are she, hers. Our welcome words today are from Alex Riley. It is good to be together in this co-created sacred space where all are welcome. How you experience or express gender is welcome here. Who or how you love is welcome here. Where you are from and where you are in your journey is welcome here. Whether you come full of energy or find yourself running on empty, you are welcome here. You are a part of a beloved community that is sacred because each of us is sacred. Each of us is always held in a larger love. It is good to be together.
My name is Alex Riley. My pronouns are they, them. We begin our service with a shared ritual by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. This morning, our chalice lighting words are by Vance Bass. Every day brings struggle. Every day brings joy. Every day brings us the opportunity to ease the struggle of another, to be the joy in another's life. May this flame remind us to carry our light to each other and to the world. May you please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn number 346 in the great hymnal, Come Sing a Song with Me.
And now it's time for the message for all ages. So if all the children and those young at heart can come on forward. This morning, I am reading the book, The Mitten Tree, by Candace Christensen, illustrated by Elaine Greenston. At the end of a long lane in a tidy little house, old Sarah lived alone. Her children had grown up and moved away, but Sarah still remembered the mornings when she walked with them to the blue spruce tree where they waited for the school bus. Now each morning she opened her shutters and watched for new children to arrive. Do you see her up on the second floor, looking out? Every chilly morning, Sarah pulled on her warm coat and started down the lane. As she walked past the children on her way to the mailbox, she wished they would smile or wave, but they never did. The children didn't even seem to notice her. Still, when she saw them, she couldn't help but smile. One winter morning, after the first snow had fallen, all the children were making snowmen and throwing snowballs, all except for one little boy in a blue cap and coat. Even his boots were a dark shade of blue. He stood away from the others with his hands sunk deep in his pockets. When the school bus arrived, he lingered behind and was last in line. As Sarah watched the little boy climb into the bus, she could see one thing. He didn't have any mittens. All that day, Sarah couldn't stop worrying about the little boy with no mittens. Late in the afternoon, as the sky grew dark, Sarah dug through the basket of yarn scraps she had saved for many years, and she found her needles and 4 shades of blue wool. Then Sarah began to knit. Sarah worked late into the night. When the sun began to rise, she hurried to the bus stop and hung the mittens on the old blue spruce tree. From behind the hedge, Sarah watched. The little boy was the first to arrive. He saw the mittens. He reached up and tried them on. They fit. With a big smile, he made a perfect snowball and threw it high into the winter sky. Soon, a little girl in a red coat arrived. Her mittens didn't match. That night, Sarah knitted with red yarn. Every day now, as Sarah went to the mailbox, she watched for children without mittens. Then she would hurry home and knit. Early in the morning, she would hang the new mittens on the tree. The children loved the game. Each day they would search under every branch and bow for another pair of mittens. Once or twice, Sarah thought that the boy with the blue mittens had seen her, but he always looked away. Night after night, Sarah knitted mittens in every color. Some had stripes, some had hearts, some even had little snowflakes all over them. Somehow, even though she had never spoken to the children, Sarah felt that they had become her new family. On the last day before winter vacation, Sarah awakened before dawn. She took the empty basket that once held her yarn and filled it to the brim with mittens. Out the door and down the steps she headed. When she got to the blue spruce tree, she hung mittens on every branch. The boy with the blue mittens was the first to arrive. He stood very still and waited for the others. In fact, all the children stood very still for a few minutes looking at the mysterious, beautiful mitten tree. When they boarded the bus, each child now wore a pair of mittens. Sarah watched as one by one their faces appeared in the bus windows. Still no one looked her way as she started home. But Sarah's heart was full. It was so full that it almost as full as when the sounds of her own children had filled her house. As Sarah neared the porch and climbed the steps, she saw something waiting for her. There in the corner was a basket woven with thick brown vines and decorated with a large white bow. In it were balls and balls of beautiful, colorful yarn. To this day, Sarah knits mittens for all the children in her town. Every time her basket is empty, a new full one appears. Sarah doesn't know who the yarn is from, and the children still don't know who the mittens are from. But someone must. Okay, now it's time for the children's blessing. We are blessed. We are blessed by being. We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
There are many ways we give to the lives of our church, and the monetary offering is just one of these ways. Each month, we partner with a local organization and share the money we collect. On the fifth Sunday of the month, we donate our collection to BLUU. BLUU is committed to expanding the power and capacity of Black UUs within Unitarian Universalism, providing support, information, and resources for Black Unitarian Universalists, and justice-making and liberation for Black people through our faith. If you are joining us on YouTube, you can head over to our website for more information. Ushers?
Part of being in community is sharing our joys and our sorrows with one another. We do that in many different ways. Sometimes we share them out loud, sometimes we light candles, and sometimes we share them in a completely different ritual. We all experience comfort in sharing and holding one another in different ways. This morning, all those who would like to share their joy or sorrow aloud can come up first. Then we will light candles while Alejandro shares some music with us.
Good morning, I'm Mary Beth Salke. I'm speaking in honor of Frank Edgerton, who asked me to speak. It's too difficult for him to walk up here, but he wanted to say thank you to the Good Shepherd for all the cards he receives, and also for the beautiful Christmas flower arrangement he receives that's doing real well. And if you'd like, you can stop in and see him anytime at Elizabeth Gardens on 5111 Wright Avenue, apartment 108, assisted living. Thank you. And Happy New Year.
Well, it's almost ditto. I'm up here saying how appreciative Andy McLean is to receive all the cards that he's gotten and phone calls and so forth from his friends here. And I wanted to make sure to light a candle in thanks for everybody here who has been reaching out to him. And his daughter and husband his daughter and her husband are here helping to start packing up things. He will be moving to Virginia permanently. And so I'm going to light a candle in honor of everyone from Andy. Thank you. If anybody doesn't know, I'm Kay Greger. Okay.
We light one final candle for the joys and sorrows that are on the hearts of our beloveds joining us online and anyone who did not light a candle who wished to. There is a love holding us always. May we rest in that love. Amen and blessed be. All are invited to join in singing There is a Love. The words are in your order of service. When I signed up to do the last service in December, I knew that I wanted to talk about a topic that would resonate with us into the new year. Instantly, I knew that New Year's resolutions were out. They are like parking spots at the gym. On January 1st, everyone grabs one, but by February, they're all empty. We're at the tail end of the holidays, or as I now call it, burnout season. Many of us are tired, overwhelmed, and to be honest, afraid of the year ahead. There seems to be an unprecedented level of uncertainty and change going into next year, both in our congregation and the world at large. Yet, as a community rooted in shared values and interconnectedness, we find ourselves called to respond, not by retreating inward, but by reaching outward. Amid uncertainty, the act of supporting one another becomes both a necessity and a source of stability. But when everything is in chaos in our own lives, why do we expend the energy to give support to others? As we all know, change is hard. And I could argue that nothing makes change and hardship more difficult than handling it alone. Offering support during chaotic times reminds us that we are not alone, fosters reciprocal resilience, and strengthens our support systems, making it easier to navigate hardships. Helping others can also bring clarity, purpose, and a constructive outlet for our energy, breaking cycles of internal stress and reinforcing our ability to make positive differences. There's also a sense of hope and responsibility within UU teachings. Unitarian Universalism emphasizes the inherent worth and dignity of every person, which inspires us to extend care and support universally. Supporting others is an expression of faith in this interconnected web of existence that we are all a part of. Helping others becomes a spiritual practice, reflecting our commitment to creating a more beloved community. But how can we best support others, especially when we may be struggling ourselves? Possibly the most important thing to do for someone in need is to listen. We may often feel the urge to say something, to find a way to help them feel better. If you're trying to give advice and it's not working out, that's totally fine. In fact, Ali Friedman, a licensed clinical social worker and therapist, says, resist the urge to offer advice or find solutions to their problems. Listen first, with curiosity and without judgment. It is uncomfortable to sit with people's negative emotions, but offering solutions without being asked can often feel like you are dismissing their feelings rather than creating a space for them to experience what it is that's hurting them. Listening is also crucial for next steps and deeper support. It can be easy to want to rush in and provide the support and care that we would want if we were in that situation. But just like we all like different comfort foods when we're sick, we respond differently to different types of support when we're having a hard time. This kind of support we need may also change based on what we are struggling with or the emotions that we're grappling with. I know that when I'm feeling sad or depressed, I'm more likely to reach for a big bowl of ice cream. However, when I'm angry, I am more prone to playing particular video games, and food is the farthest thing from my mind. When someone I care about is struggling, I slip on my listening ears and I ask one of my favorite questions: how can I best support you right now? In my service about asking for help, I talked about this question. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be those words exactly. I have a friend who, instead of feeling supported by that question, well, she tends to burst out into giggles because, according to her, it makes me sound more like a therapist than her best friend. Regardless, if you use "How can I best support you right now?" or something else, try and keep it an open ended question rather than proposing unwanted solutions. This will create space for them to share how they're feeling and let them know what they need. Let you know what they need. But what if they don't know what they need right now? There are a few tactics you can use that can help them navigate these murky waters. My first suggestion is that you take "How can I best support you right now?" and flip it on its head. Sometimes it's easier for us and our brains to think in negatives rather than positives. So answering the question of what would be the least helpful is easier than figuring out what we actually need. Second, if they are up for it and still unsure about what might be helpful, you could list off some ways that you would be willing to provide support to help them. This can help them brainstorm what might be helpful for them. But make sure to let them know that these are just options and they don't need to say yes to any of them. If they still aren't sure what they need, it's best not to force them to do something, even if it seems like it would help. Being there is enough, says Doctors Holly and Sawyer, a licensed psychotherapist. Like I said previously, it can be difficult to sit with intense emotions, especially when it's someone that you care about. This can make it hard to be present and open to someone else's needs. In times of distress, we may fall back on commonly used anecdotes and phrases that we have heard others use, both in our own lives and in the media, or confronting problematic situations. Many of these phrases, however, tend to be invalidating. Some examples include saying things like, "could be worse," or comparing the suffering to the suffering of others. "Well, at least you still have blank." There is also the pitfall of implicated blame with phrases like, "why didn't you just do blank?" Or, "there's a reason for everything." Then there's the problem of toxic positivity in the phrases, "you just need to stay positive," or "don't worry, it'll get better." And even though it sounds like it would be great to tell someone, "you're strong, you'll be fine," even this is problematic as it assumes resilience instead of acknowledging the difficulty of the moment. I can't talk. Another common tactic we may jump to is instantly trying to find solutions. I know that I am guilty of this myself. Trying to fix everything when someone comes to you for support can be counterproductive and even harmful because it often disregards the person's emotional needs in the moment. While problem solving may seem helpful, it can invalidate feelings by implying that they should focus on solutions rather than expressing themselves. This approach can also make the person feel unheard, as their need for understanding and empathy is overshadowed by unsolicited advice. Additionally, rushing to fix things can place unnecessary pressure on both parties. The supporter feels responsible for solving the problem, and the person seeking support may feel like a burden, even if someone comes to you seeking solutions. Remind them that you are providing them with ideas, not obligations. In most cases, empathy is seen as a good thing, but like the old adage, everything in moderation, including moderation. There is such a thing, though, as too much empathy. Over-empathizing occurs when someone becomes excessively attuned to another person's emotions to the point where they take on those feelings as their own experiences and make them more intense than the person they are empathizing with. While empathy is essential for connection and understanding, over-empathizing can blur the emotional boundaries, leaving the empathizer overwhelmed, emotionally drained, or even paralyzed by the intensity of their response. This can lead to empathic distress, where the focus shifts from supporting the other person to managing the empathizer's emotions. Additionally, over-empathizing can impair decision-making, foster codependence, and cause emotional burnout, especially in caregivers and those in helping professions. Striking a balance between empathy and awareness is crucial to avoid these pitfalls and maintain emotional well-being. Another thing that you can do to help support someone while not directly engaging with them is doing your own research. Doing your own research is essential when supporting someone as it prevents placing the emotional burden of education on them while showing respect for their time and experiences. While outside resources provide valuable context, they cannot replace the depth of individuals' lived experiences, which must be centered to foster trust and empathy. By combining self education and commitment to listening and valuing their unique perspective, you build deeper, more meaningful connections and provide truly tailored support. By this point, you may be thinking, wow, that is a lot of stuff that I have to remember. How am I supposed to do all these things to help someone when I may already be in crisis myself? Well, you may have heard of the phrase, you can't fill the cups of others if your own cup is empty. As much as it is important that we support each other through difficult times, the importance of self care cannot be understated. Now, when I say self care, I don't necessarily mean drawing yourself a bubble bath and lighting, enough candles to burn down your whole house. But if that's your jam, you do you, boo. Providing self care while supporting others involves recognizing your own limits and taking proactive steps to nurture your physical, mental, and emotional health. It's important to engage in activities that replenish you, whether that's taking time for hobbies, spending time alone, or engaging in relaxation practices like meditation or deep breathing. Additionally, seeking out support from others, whether through talking to a friend, therapist, or support group, can help you process your emotions and prevent you from becoming overwhelmed. By prioritizing your own well being, you ensure that you continue to offer genuine and sustainable support to others without losing sight of your own needs. Start by setting clear boundaries around the time and energy you dedicate towards helping, ensuring that you have space for rest and recovery. Setting limits or boundaries when providing support is crucial for maintaining a healthy and sustainable relationship with both the person you're helping and yourself. While offering care and compassion is important, overextending yourself can lead to burnout, resentment, and emotional exhaustion, making it harder to be effective in the long run. Boundaries ensure that you can offer support without compromising your own well being or neglecting your personal needs. They also foster mutual respect by clarifying what's feasible and what's not, preventing unrealistic expectations from both sides. Eventually, you may reach a point where the person you're supporting needs more than you are able to give them. Outside resources when supporting others are vital because it acknowledges the limits of what any single person can provide while ensuring that those in need have access to specialized help. While our personal support can be comforting and grounding, having professional resources such as counseling services, community programs, and crisis hotlines are often better equipped to address complex challenges. By connecting someone to these resources, we empower them to take actionable steps to resolving their situation and accessing sustained care. This approach not only lightens the emotional burden on those providing support, but also ensures that the person in need is receiving the care and support that they need. In conclusion, supporting others during times of uncertainty and change is not only a valuable act of compassion, but a source of strength and resilience for ourselves. By prioritizing active listening, understanding individual needs, and setting healthy boundaries, we can offer meaningful support while maintaining our own well being. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Prioritize self care, and when necessary, don't hesitate to connect those in need with outside resources. By cultivating a culture of mutual support within our community, we can navigate the challenges together while living our faith and building a beloved community together. Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn 123 in the great hymnal, Spirit of Life. Carolyn Churchill will be doing the hand signs for us today. As we extinguish the flame on our chalice, we ignite it inside ourselves. Our commitment to our mission and to one another is an unquenchable flame. Let us remember that we are not alone until we light this flame next time. As we go forward into this frightening, exhilarating, confusing, miraculous world, may we offer to the afflicted our love to those who are lonely and our wish for all to be safe.
I'm Gregory Mason. It's time for some announcements. If you need to reference the monthly unifier email, there is a link in each Sunday's email that will take you to it. If you ordered a poinsettia for Christmas Eve and have not yet taken it home, please do so today. But don't take home the artificial poinsettias. So, you might need to stick your finger in there, and if you feel styrofoam or something, that's not the one to take. Next Sunday, January 5th, Bradford Community Church Unitarian Universalist has invited OBUC to join them in a special service featuring Liz James, the founder of the UU Hysterical Society. The service will take place at 10 a.m. at Bradford in Kenosha. Following the service, Liz will lead a workshop, Steering in a Hurricane, a field guide. Lunch will be included in the workshop, but registration no later than January 2nd is required for the workshop and lunch. The flyer with information about the service and about how to register can be found as an insert in your order of service. You can contact Suzanne Landis for further information also. So remember, no service here next Sunday. Bradford, Kenosha, 10 a.m. The Social Justice Committee will be hosting the Saturday Brown Bag Lunch program at St. Luke's Hospitality Center on Saturday, January 11th. This is a multi-generational event to make up 72 sack lunches. We invite you to donate supplies or your hands for this rewarding project. The sign-up sheet is posted in Erman Hall by our OBUC table. The next Raise Right deadline for paper orders is January 12th, and there are new forms for the paper orders, so if you need one, please see me. The History Committee has unearthed OBUC cookbooks from 2008. We are offering them on the south table in Erman Hall. They are $5 each, 2 for $8, or your best donation. There are plenty to go around and would make a great gift for anyone. Brana Woolman and Sandy Berezowitz will be collecting donations for the to-go bags during coffee hour. They are to support those at the LGBTQ Plus Center and, if possible, any immigrant families who may find the need. The First Presbyterian Congregation has been supporting a community in Cuba since 2015. Beginning January 19th, we have been invited to once again partner in living our value of generosity by helping make and sell pizzas with First Presbyterian. The pizzas will be made at DeKoven on February 18th and 19th in their commercial kitchen. This activity will not only benefit the people in Matanzas, Cuba, but also members of the local Racine community by supporting the DeKoven Center Teaching Kitchen. More information will be coming. For more information and details about some of these announcements, along with others and community announcements, see your monthly and Sunday emails. Thank you to our volunteers today, our ushers, Mike Root and Jerry Patak, our Zoom host, Patty Riemann, our coffee hour host, the 8th Principal Committee, and a special thank you to Kaylin Simpkins, who's been doing the camera work this morning. That's all for announcements today. Please stay for coffee hour. For those on YouTube, log into Zoom for your coffee hour. The link is in today's email.